Okay, Farrell, here's the problem. I watched a quick video that was not this problem, but somewhat similar, which reminded me how to do this. So, here's what we do. We draw a triangle, just like I said. And then I'd say if it's MCAT, we want to highlight what's important to us, right? So we start out, we know that we're a height of 10 above the ground. We know that we're launched at 4 meters per second. We know that we're at 30 degrees. And then we can look here and it says above the initial 10. So because it says that, it cancels out the one above. So actually this doesn't matter and this doesn't matter. So we start with our triangle and we know that this angle is 30 degrees. And then it says that up here we have 4 meters per second is our velocity. So let's figure out this whole triangle in terms of velocity. So if we want to know what this is our y velocity, or rather velocity in the y direction. Okay, velocity in the y direction is going to be sine 30 equals velocity in the y direction over hypotenuse. So sine 30 is 1/2 or 0.5. 0.5 is going to equal velocity in the y direction over 4. So 4 times this is 2. So 2 equals velocity in the y direction. So we're going up 2 meters per second. Now, we could also solve for this one if they asked how far we're going to the right, but they're not asking that. But in order to solve this one, what we would use is cosine of 30 would equal velocity in the x direction, over 4 meters per second. So then that's like 0.8 or 0.9-ish times 4, and then you would do that. And that would give you this, which, whatever it turns out to be, it turns out to be, but we don't need to know that. All we need to know is this one right here. Now, it tells us that we threw the ball, and it wants us to determine what the max height it reaches above this. Now, we turn this into a conservation of energy problem, because anytime they tell us something is moving, and then we know it's got kinetic energy, and we know if it goes to a max height, it has to stop. So at that point, kinetic energy equals 0, and potential energy equals max. And so here's what we want to think about, and this. So what's the formula for potential energy? Potential energy equals mgh. And kinetic energy at its max has to be 1/2 mv squared, right? Now, because m is on both sides, the mass doesn't matter, and that's good because they didn't tell us a mass. Then we have 1/2, and we determined what the velocity was in this direction, in the up direction, which is what we care about, the y. So 1/2 times 2 squared equals g, so let's just go 10. Actually, I'll do it with a calculator, but 9.8 times height. Now, 1/2 times 4 is 2, so this is 2 equals 9.8 height. 2 divided by 9.8 is going to be, let's see, 2 divided by 9.8 equals 0.204. That would be in meters, 0.204 meters. Now, we wouldn't be able to do that on MCAT, right? So we would make this 10. We'd say 2 out of 10. That's 1 out of 5, and that equals 20%. So that equals 0.20. So this is what we would estimate. That's the actual answer. Then we compare that to the answer choices that we have. And right there it is. So anyways, that's how you solve the problem.